Out here in the shop today, filming a new video. Got a new camera. Let me know if you can see the difference in the comments. In this video, we're going to be working on getting the boat basically ready to paint it or whatever we're doing. We're going to probably paint the sides and get some deck covering for the front and the back. So far, since the last video, I got the seat braces, or the frame, welded in. So those are in, welded down on the bottom. I also got a throttle cable hooked up, which is a bicycle brake lever, which I bought off Amazon. I thought this part came off, but it didn't. So I did that myself. So there's my throttle. The cable runs around down the side of the boat. Here's where I got a block of aluminum. I drilled this piece so that the cable end goes in, and then I clamped it to the other cable, and I got a little piece of aluminum that it sits down in. And all of this will be covered, just like the other side. I'm going to get a piece of angle that'll cover all this, which will add some structure to the boat, and it will cover all the wires and cables. Got the back of the seat brace, at least one of them, welded in. I just had these boards in here eyeballing the angle that we're going to get. We'll probably come in and put one more in down here somewhere so we can have 2 points of contact for the back of the seat. So we'll have a bar across here that's padded, and then we'll have another one on the bottom, so there'll be a gap here, so we don't have to try to wedge 2 cushions in to meet in this angle so they don't pop out. But that's where we're at so far.
We're anywhere close to level, about 46 1/8.
I think you were higher than I am.
Can't imagine.
Well, I'm going off the gray line down here on the boat because I can reach it with my finger. Let's say we need about 45 1/2.
No, 45 1/2 is not touching. 46 is just right there.
Okay, got one 46.
46, and you can always chop it off again.
Right. Got the seat braces welded in, both of them on the back, so they turned out pretty good. I got a piece cut for the bottom, which is real heavy, and then we got this piece cut for the back, which will sit kind of like that. This piece will paint it to seal it off because it's not treated or anything. This bottom piece should be okay, but we'll get those set up there. And then this was an old cushion out of a different boat, so it's got some foam and stuff that we'll cut up to put in there. This is the real soft foam, but then we've got some heavy foam. It's not actually for a seat. I'm not sure what it is, but it'll work. It'll work for what we're doing. So that'll go on the bottom. I won't use that on the back seat. That's just to raise me up just a little bit more. But seat is almost done. We cut the top narrow enough so that our piece of 1.5 inch angle will be able to slide down both sides of it. And that seat is almost
bevel at the corners.
Yeah, we'll probably round these off with the jigsaw.
Yeah.
And that's what our seat's gonna look like. And now that we got our seat in, we can start working down here. I'm gonna put a
toe board,
dead pedal, or whatever you would call it, toe board, something that your feet can sit up on so you're not bouncing around down in the floor. And then we'll probably run a couple 1-bys across the angle to have a little bit of an even surface to stand on for getting in and out of the boat, so you're not tripping on that angle iron. Got this piece of aluminum tacked in. Our floors are going to run up to this. We're going to use wood on the floor. Then we're going to run another piece where a 5.5 inch board, not a 2x6, but we're going to run a 5.5 inch board up like this that our feet will sit against. So we'll run one more board here. But we're gonna go ahead and get this piece welded in, and then we'll move on to getting the other piece made up. Got this piece welded in. We got to get our measuring tape. Got one. And we're gonna
Don't touch that, it'll be hot.
come up here wherever 5.5 inches is. And get our measurement and cut another piece.
35.5, 30. Where you at?
I don't know.
You're moving it.
The board's not straight. Around 36 inches.
Okay.
All right.
36.5 inches.
GoPro, stop recording.
You don't have to. Go ahead and record it.
All right, we got this piece cut out. This is our board just sitting here. It won't be a board like this. It'll be a 1x deck board. But we're gonna get our metal cleaned up around here so we can weld it, and then that will pretty much be the end of that project. Got the boat moved over to the other side of the shop. We had some new equipment over here. We got a 4-post lift from an auction. It's a Benpack 9000. So it's kind of sitting where the boat was. So we moved the boat to this side. We're working right now on getting this part ready to lay our cover over the front so we can get it cut out. And that'll be the last big part of the boat build. That'll make it, you'll finally be able to see what it's kind of going to look like when it's done. We'll get that covered, and then we'll get our wiring run. This will be a separate piece. This is probably going to be sheet metal stuff, kind of like this side is. So got the rivets out up here, got the nose cone piece off, whatever you want to call that. We had this up here, and there was also a piece of sheet metal that came back to here, so we got that off. This piece is going to go back on top whenever we're done. The other piece won't need to be there, so right now we'll go get the other piece of metal, lay it up here, trace it, and get ready to cut it out. Got our line drawn on a piece of aluminum. Getting some boards on the floor so we can use the sawzall to try to cut them out. We'll try that first. Well, we tried the plasma cutter, but we couldn't quite get it set right. It was leaving a really jagged edge. Never used it on aluminum before, so we'll probably have to do a little more tinkering before we want to try that. So we're just going to lay it on the floor and cut it with the saw. And if we can't get it, if we can't follow the corners with it, then I guess I'll cut the whole thing out with an angle gun. Got the piece cut out. Used the sawzall. This side turned out pretty good. Follows the line pretty good. This other side got a little bit wobbly because my blade was getting coated with aluminum, so it was sticking. But I think it'll look all right. Still got this piece here. That'll sit on there. Kind of cap it off, and you get an idea what the boat will look like completely skinned over, and then we'll paint it. Not sure what color we're going to paint it yet, but looking pretty good. And we left a little bit of a lip here. This is still a little crooked, but we left a little bit of a lip so that this piece will have a place to sit against on the bottom. Got this front piece sitting on here. I've got this piece riveted on. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and I'm going to grind all this down with a flap disc. Try to make it uniform on both sides. Then I'm going to measure a line and mark where my rivets are going to go, and get this thing riveted on all the way down the side and across the back. Got this piece all riveted on. I just went through with the marker and I marked 5 inches, half an inch out from the edge all the way down, so they look kind of uniform through there. Did the same thing on this side. All I've got to do now is mark a few more spots, and I'm going to rivet this piece down here, and then the front will be attached. Turned out pretty good. Back out here on the boat. I didn't film anything yesterday when I was out here because the wind was blowing about 80 miles an hour, so you couldn't hear anything. I got started on my wiring here. I got a switch panel installed out of another boat. I had to take the key switch out and I put a push button in, and then I've got the kill switch for that came with the jet ski there. I've got bilge pumps wired up. That's all I've got so far. I've still got the lights on the way. That has a spot for lights, a blower, and a horn, and I've got the horn or the blower and the lights on the way. So I'm just tying them all up along that side. Right now I went through and I sprayed all my seams on the floor with some Flex Seal. We went ahead and tightened all these rivets up the best we could with a hammer and a dolly on the bottom side, trying to smush them back down. But just in case, I went over them with some Flex Seal because, you know, Phil Swift said that'll work. And just have to let that sit for a while before it gets cured. We'll probably go ahead and start working on the wood floor because I have the stuff to do that, but I'm waiting on the other stuff to come in the mail. Got all my floorboards cut for the boat. I didn't record any of it because it took me a few hours to figure out how to do it, but they look pretty good. They'll probably get painted eventually, but right now we're going to work on screwing them all down, which will be fun in and of itself because I wasn't really thinking about it when I built it. But they're going to have to be screwed right to the top of that angle, so it's going to be tricky to drill the hole right in that corner. But, that's what we're working on right now. You don't talk.
That ain't going anywhere.
Alright, we got all the boards screwed in, as you've seen in the time lapse. Looks pretty good. Really solids up the bottom of the boat, makes it a lot easier to walk around without having the angle iron to trip on. So that's pretty much it for that part. Now that we got the floor done, the last thing we're going to work on in this video is going to be the exhaust. All I got to do is got to get my little exhaust tip off the Sea-Doo, and I'm going to drill a hole so it can sit right about here, and just make a new PVC exhaust pipe so it'll connect.
Got this hole cut out here for this pipe to go through. It's a little small because the closest size I had was a 2.5 inch. I needed 2 3/4. So I'll go around it with a file to open it up, and then we'll be able to glue this piece in here so we can have our through hole exhaust. Okay, after entirely too long with a little carbide bit in my drill, got this piece to sit in here nice. It's just now I got to take it out. And I don't know if I'm going to use these gaskets. They don't look too bad, or I might just use some of my marine glue on there to make sure I don't have any leaks. But it'll look pretty cool on there. I also got this one mounted over here. This is the water out of the engine. I used to just have it draped over the side here, but I don't want anything hanging over. Just have everything go through the hole, through the transom. So that's that. That'll probably do it for this video. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe to see the next part. Hopefully another couple weeks, another couple videos. Should have this thing out on the water if the weather ever stabilizes here in Missouri. It's 80 degrees today and it was 31 this morning. So hopefully if the weather stabilizes and I get this thing all painted up, we'll be ready for the water. But thanks for watching. See you in the next one.